Mana, you know what they are teaching us? Jabu has 5 apples, remove 2. How much at the beginning of the month? We are giving each student 100 rand, 100 rand, 100 rand. At the end of the month, let's see what you bought. I don't just want to build something just for me. I want to build something for the entire generation that's coming. So I can be seen there. Okay, granddad did something, Yana. Not I could have been rich by now, almost. The amount of house chores I do.
All of us understand on some level how important money is. After all, it is pretty much the medium through which our survival is based on. But I also do believe in the power of our thoughts. And well, I do think that how we think about money is, in some sense, more important than the money we actually have, as it determines what we do when we get that money. Now, in this video, I'll be interviewing Trevor, who I interviewed in the first episode. And in that video, we went into what it meant to be a creator as well as a student and balancing those two. In this episode, we'll be going into money, the mindset of money, how to think about money to set yourself up, and the different types of ways, and maybe perhaps also that money skills should be taught from a young age. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, so Trevor, we recently did an episode on business, on our field business in 2023 and 2024, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to touch on that too much in this episode, but what I really want to touch on is that businesses or creating a successful business doesn't just start from like anywhere. It starts from yourself, building up yourself first before you're able to be that leader and that manager to grow that business or to be the person capable of leading a successful business. So it starts from there.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to go into, what's your mindset on money and things like that. That's my plan for this podcast. So to start off, I want to ask, when you think about money as it is, how do you think about it? Because I think it's important to figure out, it's important to get to how do you think about money first in order to, because let's say if you think positively about money, then you get positive. What you think is what you do. They tend to correlate. So in your eyes, what do you think about money? When you think about money as it is in general, what is it to you?
When it comes to money in general, what can I say? Money is a way forward, man. Because after all, everyone needs like finances and stuff in order to sustain a certain level of life. So I think money is important. But when it comes to like in general, when it comes to paper money, I don't think it's important. What's important is assets, things like that. Or if you're talking about the money, like the paper money, it is important because you need to buy things up and down. But that's what I think about money. Like, it's an important thing to have in order to sustain life, in order to achieve goals, because there are certain goals that need money. Obviously, you might have even bucket list. You be planning, you want to go somewhere, and you can't just go without the money because those things need to be paid for. Yeah, so money to me, I think it's an important thing. And also, yeah, let me just end there for now.
The reason why I asked it in such a general way is that if you were to ask me what do I think about money, is that there are many different spheres in which we can say money is. Because you can look at money as money is the medium in which we exchange goods.
Yeah.
Right? So then now I'm thinking of what other money just is like in service of exchanging goods. So if you have a good that I want, then I buy it. So it's in service of that. And then now there's money in that sense, and then there's money like in currencies, money how governments use it, and how like from the macro stage, you're looking at governments and everyone, and then moving from that stage to how do people use it and the practicality of it. And then, okay, but besides that, let's go into the mindset of money. Because now, on one hand, how you spend your money personally is going to determine how you spend your money as a business. Or like, let's say if you have, how you spend your 100 rand is going to determine how you spend your 10,000 or...
Yeah, that's true.
So what's your mindset on money? Because there could be a person who they get money and then they spend it like money is meant to be spent.
Yeah.
So what's your mindset on
that? When it comes to spending money, I really think, because nowadays most people spend their money recklessly. They don't really like take caution. So when it comes to spending money, I wish that at least it starts. They start like implementing it in like at a younger age, like in foundation phase in grade 1. Let's say you are given tasks. Mana, you know what they are teaching us? They taught me. They're teaching you Jabu has 5 apples. Might remove 2. How much is left? That wouldn't like help the economy in terms of spending money. But if you can like teach a younger child to spend money from a younger age, they will grow up knowing that it's important how you spend your money. So if they implement things like you're given maybe a task, all right, at the beginning of the month, we're giving each student 100 rand, 100 rand, 100 rand. At the end of the month, come back, let's see what you bought, let's see how you used your money. Then we teach students from there. When you bought toys, okay. When you bought a tablet, all right. You see, those things, if we can be able to take stats from a younger age and teach them, groom them in terms of like how to use their money, how to use their money, I don't think we'll be having a problem whereby people just buy things for the sake of buying things. But if you have the money, you can buy anything you want. But when it comes to saving money, spending money needs to be spent wisely. Because there are other things you might think you need, but you don't really need. It's just a thought of like, I want this, but do you really need it? Or do you really want it? Because me, what I do when it comes to spending money, when I want to buy something, I don't just, let's say I think of it now, I don't just buy it now. I take time. If I plan to buy something, maybe now, I think of it, I'll take time to process it. Maybe 3-4 days. Think, do I really need it? Do I really want this thing? Because sometimes we end up buying things we don't really need. You might buy a bicycle, then it stays there in the house. What am I doing with the bicycle? Things like that. So I think money is when it comes to saving, not saving money, spending money is an important thing to learn from a younger age. We must also be taught in like in our households that you don't just spend money just for spending money. You must be taught even things like earning money. Even that's not what you asked. Earning money, when it comes to earning money, these things must be taught. Let's say in a household, right? Don't just give let's say you give your children allowance. Don't just give them, let them like earn it. Like do something in the house. Then I say, okay, I'm giving you, thank you for that. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing that. That way they'll feel like, okay, I worked for this money. Now they'll use it wisely because they know they have worked for it. So if they don't work for it, they'll know. If you give a person something, yeah, they can use it. But what's better is to teach them how to make that money. They say, what's this say, Ghana? Don't give someone fish, but teach them how to fish. You get it? Because if you teach someone that money doesn't just come, it needs to be earned, then that person obviously they'll use that money wisely because they feel it when they are working. That's what I think. About it.
Okay, so you took on money on a broad spheres.
Yeah.
Okay, but going back into that, children should be taught how to spend money. Then, on your side, what's your ideal way of spending money? Because isn't it, if you're to say that we should, let's say we give them, let's say children get given money and then we check at the end what did they spend.
Yeah.
How do you then check because now then you're going into what's the best way to check how the children, what's your best way to spend the money?
Best way to spend the money is buying what you need and not mostly what you want. if you are speaking at the early age, buy what you need and not what you want. But then if you have the access to like loads of money, that's when you can like go into what you want to pleasure yourself, like buying maybe 17 cars that you don't need. That's when you like have the money. But for now, at an early age, teach them or that buy what you really need. That will help you. What will help you?
So how do you determine then what do you need versus what do you want?
Yeah, I said the process. When it comes to determining what you need and what you want, let's say you think of buying an apple. Think of it. Take 3-4 days. That thought will come, or do I really need this apple? Do I really need it? Or do I just want it just for wanting? Yeah. So that's take time to process what you need to buy. Yeah, if you can just take time to process.
Because on one hand for me, money now is like it's a form of self-expression. Like adding to the many spheres of money. It's a form of self-expression. So how we spend money in some sense is determined by how we think about it, and then also our own self-control in how we use it. Because on one hand it does, okay, say now, okay, let's take the situation. Okay, so let's say now moving from small children to like, let's say our age.
Yeah.
Right. On my side, right, it's, you get, okay, on my side, I get to the point where it's difficult to determine what I actually need and what I don't. Because, okay, so an example is like the keyboards that I bought, right? Or the standing desk that I bought, right? Where, can I actually say I need it? When, okay, what I mean by that is, technically speaking, it's like, I already have a desk that I can work on, right?
Yeah.
But then, so if I actually need so it's not that I need a desk, it's just that standing desk in this situation will help me in posture or moving around a lot more, which will help me in exercising. But that's more of a want. I can't say it's a need more than it's like a want. Same thing with the keyboards, right? I now have 2 keyboards in some sense.
Yeah.
And then I bought them. Like my laptop already has a keyboard on its own. And then I just bought the mechanical keyboard because it was fun. But I do use it a lot, typing and so on. Because I do type a lot, like reports, Sebworks and so on.
Yeah.
So, but it's difficult to say whether it's a want or a need. Because I do type a lot and helping to switching does get more work done. But I don't really technically need a keyboard because I already have one.
Because I think what's best is to write the advantages. Before you buy something, list the advantages you get from giving that thing. If they don't pass 10, don't buy that thing. You don't need it. I'm telling you don't need it. If the advantages don't pass 10, just know. Maybe 10 is a lot. Let's say 6. If the advantages don't pass like 6 when you're listing them, just know you want that thing. You don't really need it. Because if you really need it, that thing will have a lot of advantages. So just make a list. Then from that list, you'll see, I really need this thing. Let's say for the keyboard you're talking about. Keyboard, when it comes to 2 now it's a lot. The other one was just a 1 when it comes to two keyboards. But if it's like 1, I can understand because it can be a backup keyboard. Maybe your laptop is far there, you can use it from here, from a distance, because it's a wireless, right? Yeah, you can use it from a distance. Also, what if some of the keys on your laptop end up breaking? At least you have a backup. And also, since it's a mechanical keyboard, they are better. Obviously, they are better than the ones on the laptop itself. So that's another advantage you have. Yeah, I think when it comes to a keyboard, it is good, but when it comes now, you are buying 3, 4, 5. Now you're starting a collection. That's a collection now. It's no longer a need. It's a collection now. So that's how you can determine, by writing all your advantages and stuff.
Okay, to finish off, right? Me and you are people who the money, what we have now is in service of what we're gonna get later on, right? In the sense that we're building to, say, become millionaires or billionaires. That's what we're doing. We're building. So what we buy, what we determine, or how we determine our decisions to buy something is gonna be based on that. So for me, you're right with saying, for any other person out there, maybe buying 2 mechanical keyboards doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
But then I got to the point where when I'm around, then working on the laptop keyboard is not bad. But when I'm at home, it doesn't really. I don't like working in my laptop keyboard, and then the mechanical keyboard, it makes noise when I'm doing schoolwork. so that's when it's a membrane, so it's a quiet one. Yeah. But then it makes sense for me because then I'm switching through a lot, and all of them have their uses. Yeah. And then it just, because then if you hate working, then you're not gonna work as much. So for me, it works. But with that, that's like maybe my only hobby like decision to buy something, but it's still in the productive sense. So our decisions are based on productivity and building and so on. And then we only buy like hobby stuff once in a while. Yeah. So, but then that's because we're doing it in service of something bigger or much greater. But not everyone is like that, right? Me and you, let's say we have a desire to get something, but then others maybe just they're okay with having a stable income, stable job where they're able to like relax, enjoy their money, enjoy life in some sense. Yeah. So then in that case, if you have your money, let's say, if you have a moderate savings, even if it's not much, then they're okay with going out and just chilling and relaxing and using their money. Yeah. So I think then now it goes back to the point of how do you teach? What do you teach then for money-wise?
Yeah, it goes back to like what I was saying about being taught from an early age. When it comes to me, I don't know about you, but me, I was taught from an early age, you have to work for your money. But now it created a sense in me whereby in the future, right now I'm working, right? I'm investing because I want in the future my money to work for me. I don't want in the future to be working for money, to be working so that I can get paid. I want my money to work for me now. So it comes to from an early age to build up that logic in your brain that because we are not going to be 20 if every year you are 20 every year. We are growing fit and you are getting somewhere. You don't want to find yourself working very hard. Imagine going to field work, doing hard labor when you are like grown, like you are early ages. I don't want to say the age. This might offend other people. Yeah, I don't want to say the age. But me, I have a goal whereby when I get to a certain age, I don't want to be working for money. I want my money to work for me. That's when I can start traveling. That's when I can start using my money because I would have known that I invested back then. And that's when it comes also to like generational wealth. I don't just want to build something just for me. I want to build something for the entire generation that's coming. So I can be seen there. Okay, granddad did something, Yana. Not me. We don't even know who's your granddad, grandfather. We don't even know because they didn't put something. So I want to create a name for myself in my generation. If you can see wealthy families, just because of the same name, they get into the family business. They get into the family business, and they succeed, man. That's what I want as well in the future. I don't have to struggle. I don't have to think a lot of ish. Now I have to pay school fees. Now I have to pay this thing. I already know. All right, I worked back then. So now it's just taking out. Even going into a store, your kid saying, I want something. Then when you say, ish, I don't have money. Hey, man, I don't want that thing. I would just want to, all right, let me buy it for you. That type of thing. Yeah, that's what that's why I'm saying, if you are taught from an early age, you see the importance of having the logic of spending money, getting money, the wise part of it.
Okay, now then let's move to what we were taught now, right? Yeah. So there's on earning money, like going out and earning money and so on.
Yeah.
I'm a bit. I don't relate with that idea of earning money as much.
Yeah.
But mainly because I feel there's a broader theme we're missing. But that also, there's a broader theme we're missing in the sense that I read this book. But I read this book where I think it was before you quit your job, right?
Yeah.
So there's the third one was like there are 3 types of money that you make, or like this earned money, and then I forgot the other two.
Yeah.
But like basically, is that earned money is like you go to a job and then you get money or you get something, which
Yeah.
I think also in the video that I'm working on right now, like on learning is like a luxury, right? But my main premise is that the way we're taught to make money is that the way we're taught to survive, I think, because we survive through money. Money is it's an essence of surviving.
Yeah.
So the way we're taught to survive, in essence, or to live our lives is to get a job or go through the academic path and get a job.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the traditional way.
That's the traditional way.
Yeah.
But if you think about what you're doing in a job you're getting, for me it's, okay, in a job you're giving a service to someone.
Yeah.
Right? So you're giving your services, you're giving your time, but in that time, what you're doing in that time is you're giving your service. Right? That's kind of the same as freelancing, just that in a job you're contracted. If we move to freelancing you're working for yourself.
Yeah.
And then moving from that now, if you move then to business, now in business what you're doing is you're creating a product and giving service to other people. That's what you're doing basically. You're giving a service or a product to other people.
Yeah.
Where then now they pay you money, and then same thing in all of these 3. The essence of making money, I think this was a switch for me, where I used to there was a switch for me where you're giving service to someone else to get money. That's how all money is.
Yeah.
For you to get money, you're giving service to some other people. But it has a switch for me because in the academic sense, it's always like, what do you want to do? Let's say, which career do you want? And then let's say if you go, what passion do you want? And in that, it's different in engineering, but like it's still there where you're learning about what do you want, how do you service yourself, what can you do to get marks and so on. Now it's not about the other person. It's more about how can you get. It's now on you based. Whereas even like I had a struggle when I was going into business a bit. I know like a few months ago.
Yeah.
When I realized. So it's like it's all like you based. You're creating the product that you want, so that you become a bit. Okay, for me, that's becoming a bit entitled on like what do you want and what do you think, instead of how do you give then service to the other person. And then now it's like now the way I view it is, because if you're earning money, then you're in the job that you kind of want, and then you're only doing this kind of list that you have. Whereas it's not the same mindset. Whereas it's not the same mindset as a business where you're giving service to other people. Or in a freelancing, you're giving service to someone else.
Yeah.
So it was that switch for me where for you to get money, you're giving service to someone else. And on top of that, it's not that person is not obligated to pay you money. So then, in the job, the nice thing is that you're able to do the job and the person will give you money. You're somewhat entitled to that. So if you get the contract signed,
there's a contract.
It's like you get entitled to it, where it feels like you get a sense of entitlement where you go to a job, get an academic, and you become an academic, and then you get the job, and in the job, I'm gonna do my job, and then I'm gonna get my money, and then I'm gonna go home. So now it's like you are the one. It's like a you thing, Whereas if you move to freelancing on a business,
Yeah.
that person is not entitled to give me money. That person, it's now, I don't have, that now it's like, I realize that I'm supposed to do whatever I can to make the other person happy because they're the one who's in charge of the money that I'm getting.
Yeah.
So that's where, that's where I have, like an example we used was, let's say if you're giving children money
Yeah.
for an allowance or for something they did in the house,
Yeah.
right? Or like a chore, that's kind of a bit easy because now the child doesn't think for themselves how to make the money or how can they service the other person
Yeah.
in something because you're telling them. And with house chores, it's like everyone already has to do them. So like you naturally have to do them. Like regardless of everything else, you naturally have to clean, bath, and all of that. So like normal hygiene is something you have to do.
No,
Yes.
not like those house chores like about clean, what. Maybe today out of the blue you went to do the garden, and I didn't know. You didn't tell me. As your dad, you didn't tell me. Then I see, all right, it's nice today. Let me just give him something. Show appreciation. Show that okay, you did something. This is what you can get if you do something with your life. You get it? That creates a mindset of I can work. If I do something, I can get money. Doesn't necessarily mean do house chores you get money. I could have been rich by now, most. The amount of house chores I do, I could have been rich by now.
Okay, then in that case, okay, I get you. But then I think that's on the part of if you do some work, you're able to get money, you're able to get something from the work that you do.
Yeah.
But then on the second hand, if you want to take yourself much further, then you're gonna need to figure out how to
Start something
how
of
to
your
how
own.
to, how to provide a service to other people, and then work on how to provide a service on other people. What do people enjoy? What do people do not enjoy? And that's where then your marketing and sales comes in, learning those other skills, and then also learning the systems of your own business and things like that.
Yeah, because what I'm trying to avoid as well, myself, I'm trying to avoid to work for someone, because I don't want my money. I want like receiving money to be an excitement. Say like, hey, I worked. But if I'm on a contract, maybe contract of my business, yes. But if I'm on a contract whereby I'm working for someone, I don't want my money to be, all right, I know every month I'm getting this money, and I know it won't exceed that money. You get it? So personally, I want today I have 2,000. Tomorrow you don't know, I might get 5,000. That excitement in me. You know what? If I can change 1, 2, 3, I might get 10K today. That thing, I don't want my money to be like tracked, to know that every time, or I wait for promotion, something like that. I don't want my money to be like every time I know I'm getting this much, every time I know I'm getting this much. Yeah, I think I like the ups and downs, man, but not like the downs. Those ups and downs whereby today I get 50K, tomorrow I can get 100K, tomorrow the other day I can get 200K. That's if I put in the work. Yeah, take control. I want to take control of my life, take control of my mind. That's what I want. So if by teaching someone from a young age that you can be able to take control. I'm not saying working for someone is a bad thing. I'm not saying that. But also, you can work for someone while doing something as well. Yeah. While working at a job, you can also start a small business that you can earn extra cash from it. Don't just rely on the job. Because you might find out tomorrow the job is over. What will you do now? So at least you have something, you have a backup, or okay, the job is over. I have some money, I'm doing this thing, 1, 2, 3. At least I have a business. That's what I want in my life. I don't want to be focused on one thing. Yeah. I don't know if you get me.
I get you.
Yeah. But what do you think on that? Like how do you want like your life to be laid out in terms of money and receiving money?
On my part,
It's a bit difficult.
I think after. On my part now, the way I view it, it's anything to get me there.
Yeah.
So it's not really
Get you where? Depends on where you want to go.
the financial.
Stability.
Yeah, anything to get me to that. For me, it's a point where I'm able to not. It's a point of financial independence, which I realize I need to be more specific, but
Yeah.
in my head, there's a financial independence that I have, where it's just that one. It's a point where you're able to then be free to buy, let's say, the car that you want, or go to places really,
That
that
you
own
want.
that private jet, and
Yeah.
that's the. On one side, I think I'd like a peaceful life, but then on the other hand, I think that's impossible because of
That's not impossible. Peaceful life, not in this world.
On the one hand, I'm thinking of like it would be a perfect way, financial independence, where you're able to fly around, go to like your beach house and whatnot,
Yeah.
where you have a peaceful life and be able to chill. But on the other hand, I'm looking at the businesses I think of starting, I'm looking at my interest and looking at the way of being involved in I'm thinking that might not be possible, but it might be. But that's my end point in some sense. So now it's anything to get me to that point. Everything now is just a stepping stone to that place. And then now I think what I'm struggling with is connecting between like this financial independence and then this where I am right now. So now it's connecting the dots between those two. How do I
Get there.
how do I start something now? Getting there, it will happen sooner or later. But now it's like, how do I then, now I'm dealing with the starting something in the sense of, I start something and I get something from it. Sort of like starting something doesn't give you anything, which has been what's been happening to me like the last 2 years. Now it's more starting something and then I get something from it and then I build from there. And then I think there's also this thing of not going into debt for like your cars and a house. I think that's the main important thing for me, because then the thing with academics is like the thing with getting a job is, let's say, hopefully you don't get a student loan, right? Because that's gonna get you into debt, and then already now you're chasing the payment of the debt, and then in a few years' time, let's say you're gonna buy a car. That's an extra debt now, which is gonna take more years to pay off. That time you're gonna buy another car on top of that car that you have. You're gonna start buying more. Let's say you're gonna buy an entry level. We all know Swifts, or maybe you're a Polo person. That's your entry level car. On top of that, you go 5 years, you want a Mercedes. Or let's say even 3 years or 4 years, you got better pay. You go Mercedes or like an extra upgrade on top of that.
Now you're piling the debt.
Now you're piling the debt, and then 10 years down the line, now you want to buy a house, just a small apartment or whatever. After that, now you're buying a much bigger house for a family, because now you have a family.
Yeah.
That's what I don't want to fall into.
Now it's a debt again.
And then now you're going to the job, not necessarily because you like it, but because you have to pay off the debt.
Exactly.
And then 10 years down the line, your school fees. 10 years down the line, now your varsity fees again.
But that's the thing.
That's the thing I don't know.
That's what I don't want. I'm going to a job because I have to pay for this thing. Now you're not having fun. You just go because you have to. And because if you leave, it's shy. If you leave, they take the house, they take the car, you're back to square one. So if you have something of your own, you have the broad of like buying like cash, buy a house cash, because you know your money is not limited. You work for it, that type of thing. Yeah, I don't want to fall into that as well. Yeah.
So for me, it's whatever path leads me there, as long as I don't fall into that debt ladder.
Red race.
Because then, but besides that, with the way I am now, it's just, given that it's my third year, just finishing school. If I can finishing school in the sense of getting ahead, that's what I'm planning.
Yeah.
Where let's say when it comes June, I'm done with the whole syllabus.
Yeah.
If I can get that, and then if I can get done with this whole syllabus in June, that means school and like another project. That's like free time, or that's like free time open for me.
Something.
I'm already doing something, but now time's coming back. Now I can focus full time on it. Like now I can, because I'm thinking of putting Sebworks, because let's say Sebworks now, what I want to do is finish. I set a goal for myself like since October to publish every week.
Yeah.
But then I'm behind on that, so I want to finish that at full until January. Once January, then I start publishing after every 2 or 3 weeks. Then I can focus on the schoolwork. Then once that is over, then I can focus on Sebworks properly.
Because then to 1 week now.
Because I saw with Sebworks on the last one, I got better views on the radio that I was publishing.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna stop on that, and then now I can focus. So when I come back, I can focus on the radio properly and start building the views there with now a bit more extra experience, because I'll be doing 2 or 3 videos. So that's, and then there's also this camera business on the side that we're trying to figure out and start out, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. On that one, I think it's just being out there and just. So that's where I'm seeing it, and then now I think 2025 will be. First 6 months will be like the start. I think from the later stage will be where. Later stage I can't predict. We'll just see how things blow up from there, what we have, and then once we get something from there, then from there I can see where my path leads and so on.
No, 2025, let's say just starting new things, then pushing them until.
Not really. Starting my new thing starting was in 2024. That's what it was for me.
Yeah.
2025 now it's adding on to things. But I'm not adding on to, because now it's adding on to schoolwork. That's what and it's adding on to Sebworks.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing that. On one hand, I feel I'm not ready for it, because I still need to figure out some few things. On the other hand, I know towards the end of the semester, that's where you're gonna focus on school. Then you're gonna just stop Sebworks for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Come back. So if I can finish school and cut it out completely, that's all that time back where now I can focus 5 hours a day. Even if you're attending, you're still doing Sebworks because you did the syllabus, you're done.
You're just revising.
I'm just revising or tutorial problems or whatever. And then I know Sebworks, I'm free, open free. And if I'm free now working on a project, I know, because given how I work, I know I can work from like 12 till the end of the day, 12 come back, and then maybe do the same thing as well. Even if I'm not like writing, I can do some editing or whatever. Yeah. So now that's just, given how I work, just that I was divided. But now I feel in this year I have a lot of more direction, even like personally as well. Yeah. So with that direction, that focus, that's where so I feel this year will probably something will happen. If it's not this year, then next year. But I think a year is too long for something not to happen.
That is true.
Even 6 months, I think that's
even 3.
it's
anything can change.
Even 3, knowing how I am, if I'm able to keep it up,
yeah,
it's too long for something not to happen. Okay, so guys, that was Trevor's thoughts on money and how do you build your own. How do you think about money and how to view money as it is? Because I believe that the way you think about something is the ultimately determines how you're gonna act on it and so on. So that was how we view about money and how we see money as on a personal side. But comment down below what you saw and then subscribe if you want to see more. We're thinking of doing a business segment and then adding more topics on this. So if there's topics you want us to cover, then comment down below on what you are, and then we'll see you in the next episode.
Subscribe.